One of my most anticipated Switch releases for the month of February was Payday 2. If you watch my upcoming Switch Games of February video, you would know that. I was really looking forward to Payday 2. Sure, Bayonetta 2 is going to be an awesome experience, but I played that to death on the Wii U, so I'm kind of waiting to pick up that version of the game. But Payday 2 is a game that I played the original so much on my PS3. I absolutely loved the game, but for whatever reason, I never got around to picking up the sequel, and it seemed like the sequel was actually a lot better than the first one. So when Payday 2 was announced for the Switch, I knew that I was just gonna wait. I wanted to play it on my Switch. I wanted to see what the game ended up being like. And there's been some reviews that have come out for Payday 2 that sort of hark on different issues, but those reviews don't really matter, right? It's all about RGT 85's review of the game. So sit back, relax, and today we're going to talk about Payday 2 for the Nintendo Switch, and is it worth picking up?
Hey, RGT 85. Hey, Sean.
Oh my God, it's Stevie Richards! So let's briefly talk about what type of game Payday 2 is, then we'll jump into the negative aspects of the game, and of course finish with the positives because that's how I like to do my reviews. Now what Payday is essentially a game where you and 3 other people team up and you go out and complete missions, whether you're trying to rob a jewelry store, you're trying to do a bank heist, there's all sorts of different things, and Payday 2 sort of builds upon that formula from the original game by really expanding the mission variety, which we'll talk about a little bit more later on in the video. Now, the way the game works is you can play by yourself with some AI opponents. You can play local co-op, which we'll get into in the video as well, and of course the online aspect of the game. So that's pretty much a big aspect of the game, is the online stuff. So with that being said, we have to talk about 2 negatives that have pretty much hit every review out there. One negative I feel isn't really that big of a deal, and the other one we'll talk about in sort of ways to get around that. So the first negative of Payday 2 on the Nintendo Switch that I've been seeing a lot of is that this version is not up to date with the PS4 version, which is slightly behind the PC version as well. And the Starbreeze came out and said that that was pretty much just because of development time. When they started working on this version of the game, that was the latest version of the game available. Now, some people are pretty salty about this. They're like, oh, why is the Switch version, not up to date with the PS4 and the Xbox One version? But to me, it's sort of a moot point because when you look at the Payday 2 version on Nintendo Switch, if you're coming off of the PS4 or the Xbox One, I'm not even sure why you're super interested in this version of the game. I feel that if you're just coming into Payday 2 for the first time, you're not even gonna notice that because I haven't noticed that. I've put over 20 hours into this game already after picking it up on the European eShop. There are over 50 different mission types as well already included in the game. They've already said that they're going to be updating it as well with more free missions in this game to put it up to snuff with the PS4 and the Xbox One version of the game. But these missions are not short missions. I've played missions that take 15 to 20 minutes. I've played missions that take over an hour. So it's not like you're gonna run out of content anytime soon. Would it be nice if this version was up to snuff with the latest content of the PS4 and the Xbox One version? Of course it would be. But if you're just picking up this game for the first time, you're not even gonna notice that. So I don't know why so many reviewers are harking on that as a negative issue, because to me, it's a non-issue. I'm still having so much fun. There are still tons of missions. I've probably played maybe 7 different types of missions because I like to replay missions, and I'll get into why I like to replay missions in the positive section of the video. Now, of course, the big issue that is actually an issue is the lack of voice chat. Now, Starbreeze has gone on record saying that they are trying to work with Nintendo to incorporate voice chat into the game when the online service launches in this fall. And yes, it does suck playing a team-based game where you cannot communicate with players. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's definitely the biggest flaw in Payday 2 for the Nintendo Switch. Now, how have I been able to play this game for over 20 hours and still amass, almost level 50 already and have a lot of success in the game? Well, thankfully, a lot of people seem to be smart when it comes to playing the missions, and they realize what the goals are. You get your objectives and you sort of see what you need to do. I have run into issues where basically the mission is over and people are just spending too much time messing around and they're not getting to the evacuation point, and that's how you leave the level, is by going to the evacuation point, and that's how you get your rewards and stuff. So that was a bit problematic, but for the most part, I really haven't run into many issues. And of course, if you're playing with friends, there's tons of ways to play the game, via Google Hangouts. That's how me and Spawnwave played. There's also Discord and Skype. If you want to voice chat with your friends and play this game with your friends, which is evidently, in my opinion, the best way to play the game, you could find a way to voice chat with them, even if it's like through Facebook Messenger or something. So yes, it does suck that there is no native voice chat in the game. No, there is no logical reasoning for there not to be native voice chat in the game, but there are ways around it, thankfully. And even if you play with randos, you can still have a very, very decent time. I've had a lot of fun playing with random people. It's fun to see, you know, sort of how they play and what they do. So it is a detriment, but it's not a game-breaking detriment by any stretch of the imagination. Plus, I actually have a lot of fun playing with just single player, and I'll get into that in the positives aspect of the video. But really, those are the two main issues that I've seen pop up, and those are the two main issues worth talking about. Now, as far as the positives, oh boy, let's get into the positives of this game because I've been having so much fun with this game, it's ridiculous. So like I said, I have been having an absolute blast playing this game. I just got sucked in. I literally sat here on Saturday and played it for about 10 hours straight. I couldn't draw myself away from the game just because of the mission variety in this game and the different ways to play. There is so much content in this game, and yes, it is a step behind the PS4 and the Xbox One version in terms of content, but there's still so much content to begin with, you're not gonna notice it. There are tons of guns, tons of skill trees, tons of different sidearms, tons of different armors, tons of different ways to create your character and make different characters based on your gameplay style. And that even includes into the missions. The missions themselves, there are tons of different ways to complete them. And that's where the beauty of this game is. In just the sheer variety of content that the game has. You could go in guns blazing, you could go in stealth and try to not get detected. And the thing of it is, both ways work. They work perfectly if you're equipped with the right stuff and you do the right thing at the right time. Whether you go in with a silence weapon and you take out a security guard, throw him in a body bag and then hide his body, or you want to go in guns blazing and just kick in the front door and spray everyone down. It's so crazy just how many different ways there are to play a single mission. And the thing that I like is there is some random generation of things within the game, such as where the drop-off point is and whatnot. So it really makes each mission sort of feel fresh, safes and whatnot. So there's one mission where you're doing, you have to rob 4 different stores and get X amount of dollars. But every time you play it, the safes and hidden things are in random locations. So it's never like you know exactly where everything is. You still have to case the joint and whatnot. So I just love it. I love the variety of stuff. And that also includes into the missions as well. Like I said, you could do something as simple as robbing a jewelry store, or you could do something as crazy as what I did the other night, which had me at a Confederate bar, and I was having to go in there, rescue a guy. Then the guy had to build a bike while all these like crazy redneck dudes are shooting at me. And then once he built the bike, I had to get on the bike and escape. And then once I got on the bike and escape, I ended up on a train, and now I'm shooting people on a train. Like, what? What? It's just so crazy. It is so much fun how much different things there are to do within this game and how many different mission types there are. And I just love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And it's so much fun. There's just so much to do, so much to see. Weapon upgrades, weapon customizations. I have my guy with like Wolverine claws and a flamethrower now. Like, you could just kit it out any way you want to do. And then there's the whole stealth aspect of the game where you could crack a safe. You could, you know, unlock a door with a lockpick or something. It's just so many different ways to play. And I don't foresee how I would ever get bored with this game because of the sheer variety of stuff. The sheer level of customization is untouchable. This is the most customizationable game. I don't even think that's a word, but this is the most highly customizable game on the Nintendo Switch by far to play to your gameplay experience. Now, graphically speaking, Payday, the series, has never been a really, you know, big looker, but I think the game looks good enough. It definitely suits the environments. It gets the job done. The animations look fine. The environments look pretty solid. It gets the job done. It's pretty basic in terms of graphics, but it's definitely serviceable. Now, the game does run it up to 1080p on docked mode and 720p in handheld. Handheld mode looks phenomenal. I've been playing handheld mode in bed today, and I was really blown away with just how well the game plays in terms of the handheld mode, and it looks great in docked mode too. The frame rate is 30 seconds, and that is across the board on the PS4 and the Xbox One version of the game as well. I did have a few frame rate hiccups if there was a bunch of, you know, police on screen and maybe somebody threw a smoke grenade, but they were very brief, definitely nothing detrimental to the game and whatnot. It was perfectly fine, honestly. It creeps up from time to time, and it is worth noting. Now, what I really love about the game though is just all the stuff to do, all the stuff to see. And when you link up with a friend or two and you're playing with voice chat and you're like basically doing these heists, you're basically living this life. It's just so much fun. And you know, there's a prestige system. There's a ton of content to keep you coming back to the game. So you would think to yourself, well, this is an easy video, you know, is it worth it? Of course it's worth it. But I'm not quite sure, and here's why I say that. I think if you're only a Nintendo Switch owner, if the Nintendo Switch is your main platform of choice or your only platform of choice, Payday 2 is a great pickup. There's a lot to do, there's a lot to see, it's a very fun game. You're gonna see me streaming it a bunch with friends. I've been having a blast playing the game. But at the same time, if you own a PS4 or you own an Xbox One, you can also pick up this game for a fraction of the price. And that's where things get a little bit difficult, because that version, you can get Payday 2 on the PS4 and the Xbox One. I think it's about 20 bucks. Payday 2 on the Nintendo Switch retails at $50 because this is a new release for the system. So that can be a bit of a hard pill to swallow for some people. But I feel like if you have friends, you have local friends too, because you can play this game up to 4 players in local co-op. Everyone just has their little screen and they're all playing. And I can't wait to do that with Spawn Wave when we link up and hang out and play some local co-op. And that's another Switch exclusive feature as well. So that's really cool. If you have local friends, you have friends that you play with online all the time that you use a voice chat system with, and the Nintendo Switch is your platform of choice, definitely be on the lookout for Payday 2, because I think you're gonna have a blast with the game. If the Nintendo Switch is like your secondary system, you prefer to play on the PS4, you prefer to play on the Xbox One, then you might want to check out that version of the game. Regardless, you need to be playing Payday 2. It's not a perfect game by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a good game. It's a fun game. It's a game that you realize, you know, you start a mission and the next thing you know, the sun is coming up. You've been playing for 10 hours. You can really get lost in it. I love the customization. I love the mission variety, and I just love playing the game. It's a very solid game. The Switch port is very solid as well. They definitely did a good job bringing this game to the Nintendo Switch. So like I said, if you're a Nintendo Switch only owner, you got some local friends to play this game with, you got online friends who are picking up this game as well, pick up this game. You're gonna have a great time. If you have another platform, maybe check it out on another platform if that's your platform of choice, because you could save a little bit of money, and I don't want you guys to spend money you don't have to spend. All right, so those are my thoughts on Payday 2 for the Nintendo Switch. It's a really good port. It's a really good game. I'm having a blast playing it, and I will continue to have a blast playing it, because it's just a game that's never going to get boring in my opinion. So let me know in the comments section down below what you think of Payday 2. All of the footage that you've seen throughout this review is captured by me, so that is my gameplay footage. That is me playing the actual game. There's also live streams I'm going to be doing of it. There's a video of me and Spawn Wave doing a mission together that you guys should go check out as well. And thank you for checking out this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe for more game reviews, game news, anything really gaming related. You're going to find it on this channel. I'm starting to expand out into the PS4 and the Xbox One some more. Of course, I got love for my retro stuff. There's retro videos in the works. We're doing everything here, baby. And don't forget, if you made it to this point of the video, I'm giving away a copy of Dark Souls Remastered. And you could enter to win that by looking at the pinned comment in the comment section down below. It's very easy to enter, and I suggest you do, because you could win a copy of Dark Souls Remastered on the platform of your choice. Check out all the links in the description box down below. We got websites, t-shirts, Patreon, social media, all sorts of fun stuff. Make sure you guys keep up to date with me. I'm gonna get really close to the camera and just keep talking. So thank you for checking out this video. Love you guys. Later.